Good evening everyone. What we're going to do tonight is go ahead and install Windows 2000 Professional on this Dell Dimension 8400. Yes, I know I said I was going to install XP on it, but I've had a slight change of heart on that. The procedure is exactly the same for installing Windows XP, so this video will be relevant regardless of which of the two operating systems you choose to install. What I'm going to do is we'll go right from the beginning, take you through the installation procedure, and then when we're into Windows I'll also show you how to get all the drivers installed and getting the computer ready to use for the first time. So what you need to do, switch your computer on and head into the BIOS, also known as Setup. What you need to check for is the boot sequence. Basically, you want it to boot first from the CD-ROM, not from the hard drive. Now, that isn't particularly relevant if the computer is blank, as this one is. But if you already have a different operating system or a damaged operating system, your computer will attempt to boot into that rather than booting from the CD. So I've got my Windows 2000 disk in the drive, so we will exit setup and let it boot from the CD. There you go. As it says, press F6 at that point if you need to install a RAID driver. That is not necessary for this system. That would really only come into play if you're actually going to install Windows onto a RAID volume. If you're installing it onto a regular disk and you have a RAID volume in the computer, you can probably just install that driver from Windows. Okay, just want to have a little read of the screen there. What we're going to do is set up Windows 2000, so just press enter. Okay, so setup has detected the hard drive. If you actually already have an operating system installed on the computer, it will show the C drive, and it will probably show an amount of unused space. So since this is a blank hard drive, what I'm going to do is press C to create a partition, and as you can see there, it will default to the maximum available amount of space, which is what we're going to do here. So press enter to accept that, and then it'll leave you with that, which is more or less what you would see if you already had something on the computer. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter to install onto the C drive, and it'll give you the option here to format it, or if it's already formatted with say a damaged copy of Windows on it, you'll probably have the option to format using the NTFS as a quick format. Now I'll just hit enter on this, no problem, and this is an SSD, so this will go pretty quickly, but if you have a mechanical disk, you can be in for quite a wait at this stage while it does that. So if you're replacing an existing OS, you might want to use a quick format to save yourself some time if you're at all bothered by that. So press enter, this should go pretty quickly. Okay, what's going to happen now is it's going to copy a load of files over from the CD to the hard disk. Again, I expect this to go fairly quickly with it being an SSD, but again, you can be in for a little bit of a wait here if you're using a mechanical hard drive. Okay, you're going to be asked to restart the computer at this point. What we're going to need to do is go back into setup to make sure the computer now boots from the hard drive as opposed to trying to boot from the CD and start over. So what I did there is just take the CD-ROM off the list of things the computer can check to boot from, and now it should just go straight to the hard drive. It's going to ask you for a few bits of information. Basically just got to work through the steps at this point. Okay, after it's done with that first stage, you're going to be presented with this screen. You can just click next if you're happy with what you see, but there's a couple of things to customize here. Firstly, you need to set the location accurately. Other thing I like to do, optional, but I always change the clock like that into a 12-hour format. Also going to go ahead and set the keyboard to United Kingdom English as default. I'll delete the American layout, I'll press OK, and it'll now tell me it can't delete the layout and will be deleted at the next reboot, which is fine. Okay, so moving on, I think it'll ask me for my magic code next. Nope. Now it's going to ask me for the magic code. Okay, can't show you that bit on camera, but what you need to do is go down to the sticker on the side of your case and enter the code. Okay, after you've put your magic code in, you'll be presented with the next screen. You give your computer a name if you like, or you can just go with whatever Windows defaults to. It's also going to ask you to create a password as well, which I'll go ahead and do. Also just want to check this information over and make sure it's correct. Everything else looks good. Okay, that's pretty much done, so quick finish. And all being well, it should take you into a freshly installed Windows 2000 desktop. And we're in. Okay, what I like to do is go into the device manager and have a little look at what drivers are missing. Not really any surprises there. We're missing the driver for the network card, the sound card, those two PCI, those three could turn out to be pretty much anything, and the video controller. So basically what we need to do is obtain the chipset driver, the network driver, the audio driver and the video driver. Now this machine in question is a Dell Dimension 8400. If you are doing the install onto an OEM computer, you're in luck. You can just go to an internet search provider and in this instance type in Dell Dimension 8400 support, and you'll very easily find the web page where you can go and download all of the drivers you'll need. I must point out that Dell does not officially support the installation of Windows 2000 on this machine. It's strictly XP only, but from what I've read and looked into myself prior to the video, this should work perfectly okay, and the majority of the drivers do actually support Windows 2000, but it's not officially sanctioned and I cannot personally recommend it, so do so at your own risk if you choose to. Right, I shall be right back with you with a freshly prepared USB stick with all the necessary drivers. Okay, I've acquired the necessary drivers, so I'm going to go ahead and install what we need to now. Okay, this is the Chipset Drivers. Claims on the website it's for XP only, but as you can see here, it also says it's compatible with Windows 2000. Let's move through it. Okay. Next. This is one of those moments where things don't quite go to plan, because you realise the chipset driver has obviously updated the USB driver, and now the mouse isn't working for the moment, so I have to do Control Escape and use the keyboard to trigger the restart. Okay, so the chipset driver process kind of got a bit stuck there at the last minute, so I just had to reset the computer, but it does appear to have installed without issues. Next up, I'm going to install the network driver. Okay, that worked. Install the audio driver. This is one driver that Dell really didn't have for Windows 2000, so I had to get this one direct from Creative. I'll try and edit a little bit of this part out here. Okay, so the sound card driver went without a hitch. Did actually have to restart the machine at the end of that, but there's nothing really interesting to be seen. As you can see now, the only thing left is the video card. So go ahead. I did get these drivers direct from ATI rather than from Dell. I had to put the original X300 back in as the replacement NVIDIA GT710 wasn't compatible. I am going to acquire an upgrade for it at some point, but not quite yet. So we're going to have to do another restart. I'll bring you back after that. Well, all the drivers technically installed okay, although may or may not shock or horrify you to find out that there is some sort of a video driver glitch going on. And no, that is not related to my background you see going on there. That is the Z-Matrix desktop for anyone who is interested. Really haven't got the will to try and chase this bug out at the moment, because this system is just going back on the shelf for a little while, and by the time it goes actually into regular use I will have obtained another graphics card for it. So it's going to stay like this for now, but we do just have one more thing to check out before we declare this little project finished. Anyhow, so now that that work is behind us, we have to go ahead and answer the most important question for any computer of this vintage. How many frames per second do you get in Quake 3 Time Demo 1?